All right, I'm here at the home base with Coach Captain Eric Albarracin, who is coming off of a big win for the team last weekend. You guys did what you said you were going to do, went and got Deiveson Figueiredo's belt back. How does it feel in the week following?
I can tell you it feels awesome. You know, I've been waiting for this feeling ever since Henry vacated the belt. I've always thought that flyweight belt belongs here with us, and now it is back here with us. I got the belts right there. What I think was interesting is that they didn't let him go home with the belt. I don't think they thought he was going to win. So we finally got the belt delivered, except the belt was, he already went back to Brazil. Darren, can you go bring me that box over there real quick?
So they didn't let him go home with the belt. Was there any explanation? Was it something wrong
Well,
on it?
they said they wanted to put, I think the ruby on it or something, but I don't know. I just feel it might have been. This is Darren right here. Give him a look. He's a big
We got the big unveiling here.
Get in. Thank you. Here, can you take this out of there for a second? It's my boy Darren right here.
The official belt delivery.
Be careful. This thing's worth about $15,000. Look at that. I hope Aunt Deiveson don't get mad. But there it is.
Playing with this toy before he
This is the first in history trilogy. The first trilogy fight. Deiveson got sweet revenge, got his belt back, and now, you know, the quadrilogy, first time in ever. Quadrilogy fight is on, could be up next. I think for the first time in history, 4 fights in a row. That would be awesome. I mean, we could do something with an NFT on that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just jumped right to it, but I guess, is that what you guys are, the feeling in camp is like, we're just going to have to do this one more time, be the first, you know, quadrilogy in UFC history to go down? I can't think of a better duo to do it. It's been exciting every time. Or do you guys think there might be other options as well?
There could be other options. You know, just a couple of years ago, they were talking about getting rid of the weight class. Triple C saved the division when he beat TJ Dillashaw, who was coming down to try to kill it. So I think now it's one of the most exciting weight classes. It's always been one of the most exciting weight classes, one of the most difficult and talented fighters in the flyweight division. I just don't think it got the attention, and I think this last fight, UFC 270, I was there. I mean, the crowd was 10 times louder for the flyweights than the heavyweights, which you have never seen before in your life. So the flyweights, we don't die, we multiply. I call them the super flyweights. They're super fly, and it's one of the most exciting divisions in the UFC now. And there's only one thing to do to make it more exciting is put those two together again and finally figure out they got a tie, 1 win apiece. Let's put that nail in that coffin and see who's truly the best flyweight in the world is. And let's get this quadrilogy, the assassin baby versus the god of war. That's the fight to make. If you can't make that fight, I say Kai Kara-France. Kai Kara-France, Brazil versus New Zealand too. But I told Figueiredo, and he was on board, I go on one stipulation. I want Israel Adesanya in that corner. I want to be in that corner for that fight.
Still unfinished business between you two?
I just want to know if he's still coming. Let's go, let's go. Kai Kara-France, City Kickboxing, and Israel Adesanya. Let's get a world title fight. He's also from Top 24, Kai Kara-France.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring that up. Like, I feel like you really like the competitive nature of the coaching side of it too, like the cornering and stuff. I know Brandon Moreno seemed, I don't know if you heard his post-fight comments last week, he kind of seemed to still kind of have some beef with you. Do you feel like that's a mental game? Is it something that you try to do? Is it something that just happens? You know, you brought up Izzy. That was the other instance that I kind of thought of when I heard that.
Sometimes a lot of my fighters don't speak English, and these fights need to be promoted. I remember when Conor McGregor was fighting Jose Aldo, and Conor McGregor was ripping Jose Aldo to pieces. Jose Aldo didn't speak English, had no idea what he was saying, and the translator wasn't really translating what he was saying either, because there was a lot of slang. And I asked him, why didn't you translate? He goes, I respect Aldo too much to tell him what he said. And I was like, so now Aldo's sitting there getting all these insults at him and he's not responding. And I was like, I didn't like that. So I was like, these guys need a voice. And if they're not going to speak up, I can help them speak up. So that's kind of where that comes from. And we're just trying to make this fight the biggest fight in the world, to tell you the truth. And that's what hopefully more viewers, the sport grows, and who doesn't like two rivals going at it, with revenge.
And you seem pretty okay with that sacrifice of being the mouthpiece, so to speak. I know sometimes you take some heat for it, people get on your case, but that's something you're willing to do in order to kind of boost the fight, right?
It depends, because sometimes I get violence. I've had to hire my own executive protection agent. Now that we got 4 belts, or actually 6 belts, 15 world titles, you start getting more sponsorships and more things like that. You start rolling in, exotic cars and mansions, and you start drawing attention to yourself, and you need that. Sometimes I need a bodyguard. I tell you, I've been cut off by a car before. I've been approached in a dark alley by some fans. Just at this last fight, I had 200 people surrounding me from Mexico, screaming with their flags and playing mariachi music and surrounding me and me and the team. And you need so we've attracted attention, and so with some of this stuff has its as you get bigger in this game, I guess that's just part of it. I'm in a situation where, some people, you got a lot of haters, I guess. The more you win, the more haters you get. And to me, that means you're just doing something right.
Brandon seemed to specifically, there was something, he didn't want to say specifically what it was. He said we could do, as reporters are, investigations on it. Do you know what it was exactly that he had beef with you about? It seemed like there was something specific that he was peeved about specifically with you.
Yeah, for sure I know what it is, but I disagree. I kind of think, to tell you the truth, us here at Fight Ready, we really helped Brandon get in, and I think that's where there's maybe the sentiment of, man, why would he be mad at us when we're the one that helps him? We helped bring Brandon Moreno here. I didn't. Henry and I think Tommy Ortiz brought Moreno here to be a training partner as he was preparing for Formiga. And then he stayed, lived with Henry, his family lived with Henry. And then Henry was fighting Demetrius Johnson. And I don't even know if Brandon knows this. And he was being followed by UFC Embedded. He was fighting in Tucson, which is about 2 hours away. Henry was fighting the next week. And I said, Henry, if you're being followed by UFC Embedded, you got to be in his corner, because they're going to film you in his corner. If they film you in his corner, now Brandon has a highlight on UFC Embedded. Much easier for him to get in the UFC. We knew he was good. Nobody else knew who Brandon Moreno was. And Henry was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get him in the UFC. And that's what we did. UFC Embedded follow us to watch Brandon Moreno fight in WFF MMA. He won a title. He won the title there, and he cut a promo to Dana White, just like Briscoe, my fighter, just did. And he cut a promo in the cage with Henry in his corner. They filmed it and everything, and now you had a highlight. So, after the loss to Demetrius Johnson, Henry gets put in the Ultimate Fighter 24 against Benavidez. You had to be a world champion to be on that show, Tournament of Champions. The winner of that show fights Demetrius Johnson. They had 16 fighters already. Well, I was on the Ultimate Fighter Brazil 2, and the first week we had an injury there. The UFC was bringing someone else as a replacement fighter. I told Minotauro, why don't we use our own fighter? He goes, they already got somebody else. I was like, Minotauro, you're a legend. Ask Dana White. He asked Dana White. Dana White says, because you're a legend, you can bring your own fighter on board. when we got to the Ultimate Fighter, I told Henry that story. And Henry's like, you know what? I'm going to do that too. He talked to Dana White. He said, Dana White, I want to bring Brandon Moreno on board. He said, well, I already have 16 guys here already. He says, I want Brandon Moreno. And they took someone off the Ultimate Fighter, out of the house, out of the hotel, and put in Brandon Moreno. We put him on the Ultimate Fighter. Henry put him on the Ultimate Fighter. I helped with that conversation with him about the story, put him on the Ultimate Fighter. Nobody knows that. What everybody also doesn't know is that we didn't know the seeds going into picking the fight. Now, as a coach, you have to think from a business. This was not my first Ultimate Fighter. This was, at that point, my third or fourth Ultimate Fighter. Henry was first Ultimate Fighter. And I said, this is different than any other Ultimate Fighter because you have seeds now. So if you choose number 1, number 16 goes over there. Choose number 2, number 15 goes over. Number 3, number 14 goes to the other team. It's not I pick one fighter and then he picks a fighter. You receive a fighter as another fighter gets picked. I said, nobody knows who Brandon Moreno is. We'll pick him second, but we have to pick a high seed first. Otherwise, they're going to start off with 3 high seeds, especially if they win the coin toss. Joe Benavidez wins the coin toss. He picks Tim Elliott, number 3 or 4th seed. That leaves us with the number 12 seed. If we picked a low seed, let's say we pick Brandon was 13, we send them number 3. So now they have number 4, number 3, and now they get to pick again. So they would have like 1, 3, 4, and we're stuck with 12, 13, 14. That's not how you start a show. I've been on a show before. I said, let's get Brandon Moreno second. There's no way he's the worst on the team. We knew he was good, but we knew nobody else knew who he was. We figured he was about 10 or 11 on there. Day to choose the fight. Dana White comes up. You could see the seeds in his hands, but you can only see half of the seeds, 1 through 8. You can't see the other half. Or I couldn't see it because I was behind Henry trying to peek. So I peeked, I saw Benavidez wins the coin flip, picks Tim Elliott. I said, wow, we can get the number 1 seed. Let me see who the number 1 seed is. Number 1 seed was Pantoja. Henry wanted to pick Moreno. I was like, we'll pick Moreno next. There's no way Moreno's 16th seed. There's no way. He's too good. We picked Pantoja. Moreno was 16th seed. And that's
where this whole thing stems from.
That's where it all went down. And I'm the one that convinced them to do it. Henry was pissed. It ruined Henry's, I can tell you, Henry and him were like best friends. Henry was depressed almost the whole Ultimate Fighter. As a coach, I felt bad.
Do you think he knows that side of it, Brandon?
No, but I could tell you that I would almost do it again. And, you know, he's given the example of Conor McGregor picked Artem Lobov, but that wasn't a seed going to the other side. We could have, if it was like that, yeah, we pick Moreno, and then he would pick someone else, and then we would pick someone else, but it wasn't like that. Joe Benavidez picked somebody, we get forced to receive somebody. So it wasn't like Conor McGregor's thing.
Yeah.
So we would have been started with 16, 14, and 12. That is not how you started a tournament when you're picking seeds. So nobody knew that. But I could tell you what was interesting. It was all set up. The UFC set it up on purpose. Because we went to it was International Fight Week, the first week of the Ultimate Fighter 24, and we went to the Ultimate Fighter, the UFC event. And UFC brass came up to us, and their first question to me was, did you pick Pantoja, the number 1 seed? And the answer I said was yes. And they're like, yes. They set it up. They knew, okay, you guys forced us to put Brandon Moreno on, but now you're going to have to make a choice. If you pick number 1 seed, your best friend goes to the other side. If you pick your best friend, the number 1 seed goes to the other side. So they set us up like that, and we fell for it. And here we are 6 years later, still dealing with it. But you know what? Brandon was the UFC champ. He went on to become the UFC champ. He should be happy. He should not be feeling that way towards us. But he went and trained Benavidez, and that's what really hurt Henry. And that's why Henry is like, I'm going to train the guy. He trained Benavidez, who ended up beating Henry. And so that's when this came down. Figueiredo, he's like, yeah, I'll take that on.
Do you kind of hope at the end of all of this that, like, you know, you guys have your fourth fight? Is that a relationship that you would like to kind of smooth over, or is it something just whatever happens, happens?
Well, you know, to tell you the truth, I thought it was smoothed over. I went to his victory party. I wasn't at his victory party here in Arizona for him. There was another party in the same place over at Golden Margaritas that he had another section. And I went to congratulate him. He kind of didn't receive it well.
Yeah.
I said to him, man, amazing job. You were 16th seed. Nobody believed in you, and look, you're a champion. Congratulations. And he was like, kind of pushed me away. So I was like, okay, Figueiredo, if you want to come train in Arizona, we got you. We know how to beat him. And Henry was on board, and that's kind of how it went down. So we tried to mend. I did, and he didn't want it. So we got Figueiredo, and we got the belt. Payback. You trained Benavidez, and he beat Henry Cejudo, and we got the belt back now. So in the quadrilogy, this belt ain't going nowhere. So it's up to, I already told my story, it's up to him now. It's up to him whether he wants to mend. I've already done everything. I mean, what more can I do than help Henry put Moreno on the show through UFC Embedded? We helped convince Dana White to take someone off the show and put Brandon Moreno on. I mean, what did we do wrong? What did we do wrong? And the UFC set us up, punished us for that by putting him at 16th seed, knowing he wasn't the 16th seed, but knowing if we wanted to win, we'd have to pick number one, unknowingly who the 16th seed was. So it was all set up, and that's the story. But hey, you know, blood sells. So if it bleeds, it reads, and that's what they wanted, and that's what they got, and that's what they're gonna get in the quadrilogy.
And what did he say something to you after the fight? Was it just you went to shake hands and he was just like, no? Because, I mean, he kind of indicated post-fight you were the only one that he didn't want to talk to.
I tapped him on the, yeah, he didn't say hi he didn't say nothing to me. I shook hands with his coaches, and as he came over to shake hands with the guys, I kind of like tapped him on his shoulder, but he didn't see me do that. I mean, that was a good job. So, I mean, he's a fighter. I'm a coach. It's not. I think his story is inspirational to me. When I hear his story, you could see that video clip that they made of him. Si se puedes. And now it's even a meme now. One day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next month, pero one day I will be champion. I mean, in my opinion, Team Cejudo made him a superstar in Mexico. We were a part of that journey. So I just don't appreciate, where's the gratitude in that? So that's where it's at for me. I think I've never had if I had a problem with him, I would have never, we would have never went down to force UFC Embedded to follow us, to watch him, to get the highlight that would put him on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yep.
So
I get what you're saying totally, yeah. I mean, definitely there's a certain amount of drama that comes out of every fight, but I do want to get your breakdown kind of the fight as well. How did you score it? Was that what you guys were expecting, like how the fight to play out, or were there any surprises? Just kind of your breakdown of it more from the coaching perspective, this whole thing.
Well, I definitely scored it with Figueiredo winning. The knockdowns, the damage was very important. I think the deciding factor was that 5th round when he got taken down, but he got right back up and then got a knockdown. We were just in Wei Lee's camp where, you know, she got taken down and never got back in the 5th round, and that kind of changed. You know, we thought she won the first 3 rounds, but you can't stay down for 5 minutes on your back. in the 5th round, and the judge gave it to Rose. So I almost had I was having a flashback of that when he got taken down, because Figueiredo loves jiu-jitsu. He's really good in jiu-jitsu, and they could have played the jiu-jitsu game, and they kind of would have nullified each other, and he could have been down on the ground the whole time. But no, I screamed to him, "You got to get back up. Like the floor is lava. I need you up. Not in 5 minutes. I need you up now. 5 seconds. Get back up on your feet." And he did that, and he did the game plan. He was dominating at the end of each round. Got some knockdowns. So the strategy and the tactics that we are here at Fight Ready with Eddie Cha and Santino and Triple C and myself, and the strategy and the tactic and the game plan worked.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we went to the judges, I scored it the same way all the judges did, so I thought that was pretty proper. So obviously a huge celebration there.
Yeah, the judges. I thought, Henry was like, if they rip this off, he had a idea that it's like, man, if they don't give this to us, they're gonna try to rip us off. He felt that because of the crowd influence. The crowd was so loud, 100%, 99% cheering for Moreno, loudest arena I've ever been in, and comparable to Madison Square Garden with Weili and Rose. But that was super loud too, hard to concentrate. But they were screaming "fuck Joe Biden" there. Over here it was more of a Mexican crowd, and they were screaming in Spanish and "Viva Mexico" and all this kind of stuff. So we weren't sure if that had influenced the judges or not.
Yeah.
So I had felt he won. As soon as you get a knockdown in a round, that should be your round. The tip-tap patter that he's doing, you can't win a round like that. And that's how you're supposed to be, damaged. And he damaged him. He knocked him down, sat him on his butt. So in my opinion, right there, he won the round. Any round that you go down in, you knock your opponent down, that's your round.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I've taken up enough of your time. I appreciate it. Hopefully Deiveson's not too mad at you that you were playing with his toy before he did, but you're gonna ship that down to Brazil, or is he coming up to get it, or?
I'll probably deliver it to him. I have Patricky Pitbull's got a world title fight in Bellator.
Yep.
I've kind of haven't been to the Pitbull brothers because I've done these 2 camps with Weili and Figueiredo here, so I got to get down there and get my world champion, the first brothers in history, Patrice and Patricky Pitbull, to have world titles. So on my way down, I might stop in Bedlam and personally drop this off and maybe have a nice victory party with him, maybe join the parade with him.
Yeah, just don't get the cops called on you guys again, right?
Oh, man. Yeah, I think we lost $5,000 on that party. Or the Airbnb booted us out.
Yeah, well earned.
On a Monday. We turned up on a Monday.
Yeah, that's championship shit, man. Well, I appreciate the time, Eric. Appreciate you having me, as always, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.